and welcome to Tech Total Access. I'm your host, Alexis Craighead. The football team is traveling to Wake Forest this Saturday to take on the Demon Deacons. If the Hokies can come away with the win, they will be bowl eligible. Noel Lane was at a practice this week to find out how the team is preparing.
Wake Forest is a very dangerous football team. I think you look at them, they lost to Louisville as a 20-10 game. They lost to BC 23-17. The Clemson game was a 7-point game with 7 minutes to play. Clemson scored and got it to 2 scores, but they're capable and they're dangerous. They've got defensively 2 corners that, and when you got corners that can play the way these guys have, it's a heck of an advantage for your defense. Offensively, they got a new system, a freshman quarterback, but they're just a team that you better play solid, or you're not going to be happy with the results. They defensively they play very well. They're I think 45th in the country in defense, 10th in the country in passing defense. And those corners I've told you, I've talked about that. You got a new system, you got new players, you got a freshman tailback, or redshirt freshman tailback, you got a freshman quarterback, and you put all those things together. They're going through some of the things that I've talked about here. Is a good play and then a not so good play, and a good play and a not so good play, and they're like us, we're trying to fight through that too. But Brendan, he got in there and handled that thing like he had been there before. And as you guys know, he hasn't. He was there during spring practice, but I could see us developing a little bit more with him. He's a talented kid, big guy, can run. He kind of is running by some people over there on the sideline. He can throw. He's got a good arm on him. So I think we'll keep working and see where that goes.
Some holes out there this weekend. And Duke, they have a very good defense as well, but it was definitely holes out there to hit, and I do call myself being a lot patient. I was a lot patient out there, and I was comfortable, just running and getting into a groove of things as well. So that's what really helped us out.
Focusing on disguising a lot more. Like I was saying, he was reading our coverages, one high safety type of stuff. And with us disguising, he couldn't really, recognize what we was in. And I think it was rattling him a lot. And we was able to get more sacks towards the end of the game. We can't take any opponent lightly. We just have to keep playing what we've been playing, what we played last week, actually. And I think that will help us, get to the bowl game. But we have to take it one game at a time. We're not going to take these teams lightly. UVA and Wake Forest is capable of winning. And I think we need to just approach the game in that way.
Confidence going back in the locker room. Not that we didn't have any before. We've always felt confident this year that we could win whatever game we were playing in. And we were able to go out and make enough plays and execute the game plan well enough to beat Duke. Credit to Duke, they're a very good football team, and I'm sure they'll finish the year out right. So we've got a big one next week. And, we got to have a good week of practice and take care of business on Saturday. Big, just having him be able to come into the game and basically run the package that Bucky was running previously in the year, and to have a quarterback do it now obviously is big. It poses a lot of threats to the defense, and obviously, Motley's a phenomenal athlete, and he can pick up a lot of yards with his feet. I think if there's one thing that we've learned this year, it's not to take any team lightly. There's been a lot of cases this year where we've had big wins and then come back and lose the next week, or have a close game that didn't go our way and then let it affect us the next 2 weeks. So I think at this point in the season, everybody's figured out that you got to stay even keel and have a good week of practice and prepare for Wake Forest, like it's the ACC championship game.
Is it good for you to kind of be able to just spend all your time at your position?
Yeah, I mean, now I can just focus on little things I got to do right at tight end and not got to worry.
We know now, if it's not obvious with our 5-5 record, that we can beat anybody in the country, and I'm fully confident in that. But we can also lose to anyone in the country, and that's, I think, like you said, this late in the year and with our record being what it is and how we've had so many, it's just been a roller coaster year. You can't miss. We can't sleep on anybody. And offensively, they're a good defense. Their secondary is top 3. Maybe the best we've seen in the ACC. They're a really good secondary. So, I really like the challenge we have this year in the receiver, or this week in the receiver room to take on these corners that might be playing in the pros and stuff like that. So, we're not over it.
Guys we had at Pitt, basically JC, Joel, and Sam are the 3 guys we had in that game, and that's kind of who we have right now. Jerome's not able to go. He didn't do anything today in practice. He was in the training room getting treatment the whole time. We'll see how he is tomorrow. I hope he can play, but honestly, I'm counting him right now.
I feel like the defense kind of listens to me now. They kind of respect me, and so I just try to lead them by example, on the field, and try to have everybody just having fun out there together.
I'm always caught up. Coach does a good job of keeping us all prepared. It don't matter if you're the first or the fourth. He's going to prepare you like you are the first. So I'm caught up. Feel confident in what we're doing. My number was called to do it. Well, it was kind of like a sudden thing from Mark to me like that. But I guess the week that it happened, we had to have practice on Monday or something like that. We came back on Tuesday and let me know. So I'm happy that he was doing what he wants to do now.
2 guys in the Miami, kind of 3 guys that they rotated in were probably the 2 best groups in our conference at the cornerback position. They have length, they have strength, they're quick, they both can run. I really like what they're about. You kind of watch them play and you try to pick apart their game a little bit, and there's not much to pick apart, and I think that you respect those 2, and you tell your guys all week, this is a week where we got to be great in and out of our breaks, we got to be great at selling our routes, we got to be great at accelerating by these guys, and we got to continue just to do the little things that we preach, because against a lesser corner, the little things don't make a difference all the time. Versus a great corner, they make a difference every single play. And watching number 9 there into the boundary, he was their field corner last year. He's going to make you pay if you make a mistake, and he's been a really good player for them. Their defense is a very, I don't know if they're underrated, but I don't know how much people are talking about it, but their defense is pretty good. And, those 2 corners and the 2 safeties are a lot of the reason why. And, we got to be great this week at running by these guys and then being able to get in and out of our breaks when we need to stop. So it's just kind of the ebb and flow of the game, and we got to make sure we're taking our shots against them and not being conservative. We still got to go at them and, just understand what their strengths are and understand what their weaknesses are.
Same with Ryan. His game changed a little bit this past week. He was thrown to probably 1 time, maybe twice, but his role was a little bit different than it's been in the past games. And from week to week, what you feel like you have to do and what you're trying to get accomplished, sometimes the roles change, and it's not anything that Ryan, we didn't want to throw him the ball or those type things or get Willie out there. It's just what we're trying to get accomplished and how we were going to be able to do it.
We'll be right back with some R&R.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. That's about a 30% increase in 2 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Let's go ahead and start with Wake Forest. They look like a bad team, only 2 wins. I think Virginia Tech's going to get the win and become bowl eligible.
Yeah, the Tech should win this game, straight up. They should win this game. This is probably the easiest game on Tech's schedule so far. Maybe, you know, if you're not include Western Michigan, they're a pretty bad team as well. But look, Wake Forest doesn't do anything well. They're 112th in passing in the nation. They're 128th in rushing. They're 126th in total offense, and they're 69th in total defense. They can't score points. They can't keep teams from scoring points. They've lost 6 games in a row. This should be a pretty easy one for Virginia Tech.
I'm going to be disappointed if we don't get 2 interceptions against them. They have a freshman quarterback who has more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got 13 picks and 9 touchdowns. Wofford's really struggled so far this season, and it's a new system for Wake Forest, and they're still figuring out the kinks. And like you said, he's a true freshman at quarterback. They just don't have a lot of experience, and they don't have the talent right now to compete with a team like Virginia Tech.
And, of course, we're playing at Wake Forest, which would be an advantage to them normally, but I feel like this year we've played better away than home, so...
Yeah, the energy on the road's been better. They've had 2 wins against ranked teams on the road in Ohio State and now Duke. It seems for some reason they come out and they play better defense when they're on the road. And, yeah, this game should be one, you know, that Wake Forest would have a home field advantage in, but this season it just doesn't seem that way.
Of course, we have to consider how we do. A lot of times it seems like we play better against better teams, so hopefully we'll keep up our level of intensity and not play to their level. Also talking about us, we have to talk about Marshawn Williams out for the year.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Originally they thought it was a sprained knee, but then they come out this week and say there was a torn ACL. The Hokies running backs have just been snake bitten all year long. You had Shad McKenzie who went out with a torn ACL. Trey Edmonds breaks his clavicle. Marshawn Williams had an ankle injury earlier in the season that caused him to miss a game. Now he goes out with a torn ACL. Luckily, though, for Virginia Tech, J.C. Coleman really played the best game that we've seen him play in quite a while against Duke. He had 95 yards. We haven't seen that kind of performance from him in a while. He was breaking tackles. He was hitting the hole hard. And they're going to need that from him moving forward.
Yeah, JC looked really good, but he's going to have to step up, and the offensive line is going to have to step up.
Yeah, the offensive line, in my opinion, was brutal against Duke, especially in pass protection. Michael Brewer was sacked 6 times, and he would have been sacked many others if he hadn't been running for his life and scrambling to avoid the pressure. He is just running for his life all day long. The offensive line, there's 3 seniors on that offensive line. They should be producing better than this.
Well, he was running a little bit. He wasn't doing it very successfully. One thing that I was the most excited about was getting to see Motley in the game and doing a lot of good things. Now I just want to see them let him pass the ball.
Yeah, I would be interested to see if maybe those kind of Wildcat packages do have some pass plays in it. All we saw were run plays from Motley, and he did it pretty well. And he kind of provides that Logan Thomas type build. He's a big guy, he's got some speed, and he has a big arm. Just the accuracy's not quite there that like it is with Brewer. But I would certainly expect against Wake Forest to see some pass plays with Motley.
Yeah, I definitely think that'll be interesting because when our offensive line is so depleted and where it is right now, we need someone who can escape when they're rushing all of their defensive linemen.
Yeah, and Brewer can't really run the read option, and that's something that Motley can do. Motley's very good at it, and he's experienced with it, whereas Brewer's not. And the option would kind of help take some pressure off of that offensive line.
Virginia Tech is also going to have to make better decisions. We know that the fake punt they attempted against Duke was a mix-up, but that was just such a horrible decision and went so wrong, it could have cost us the game.
Yeah, you figure with Derek DiNardo, a senior in that position, you wouldn't have that issue, and especially with an experienced coach like Frank Beamer. But sometimes stuff like that happens, but like you said, you definitely cannot have that kind of issue again if you want to win out the rest of the season.
So moving on, let's look at UVA. They're also a team that's sort of on a downfall. They lost their last 4 games. Do you think we're going to come out on top against them?
I think so. UVA has completely changed course this season. They started off as kind of a contender in the ACC, and now they've just completely fallen off. They're a different team. They've had some quarterback issues. John started the year, now he's benched. and they just don't seem to have that cohesiveness right now, and they're just not performing well.
Yeah, I think UVA, though, is always a good game. It's always a really highly anticipated game. It's going to be Friday night at 8 o'clock this year.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
It's going to be cold. You think it's cold right now, Blacksburg. Wait until that night, when Virginia comes on Friday night, 8 o'clock, ESPN. The one thing that worries Hokie fans is Virginia Tech has struggled on the primetime stage. They did beat Ohio State, but then they come out and lose to Pittsburgh on the road in an ugly loss. The next game at home against Miami, they get blown out at home. Are they going to be able to rise to the occasion and perform on the primetime stage? I'm not sure, but I think we're going to win this game.
I think they're going to end up coming out, stepping up, doing it for the seniors, because all of them talk about UVA is the one thing they don't want to lose. The bowl streak is bad. Like losing the bowl streak would be bad, but losing to UVA would be worse.
Yeah, the last thing these seniors want to do is be the class that lost to UVA. Virginia Tech hasn't lost in 10 straight years. That's incredible. And if they're the ones that are going to lose that, it's going to be kind of a dark stain on that class that they don't want to have.
No one wants to lose to UVA.
So we're nearing the end of the season, guys. Tech needs one more win to be bowl eligible. What do you think their chances are for that?
I think the chances are good. I just don't see us losing to both UVA and Wake Forest. We're going to be at least one of them.
Yeah, I agree. Tech is pretty much a surefire bowl candidate at this point. I don't see them losing to Wake Forest, and even if they do lose to UVA, they've already got that 6 wins.
All right, well, we got 2 more weeks left to find out what's going to happen.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is
it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today, I'm just an aluminum can, but one day, I could be a stadium.
The men's basketball team kicked off their season on Friday against Maryland Eastern Shore. VTTV was on the sidelines to give you an inside look.
The basketball team opens their season with a 71-46 win over Maryland Eastern Shore. The Hokies dominated throughout the game. The Hawks never once took a lead. Tech shot 52% on the night and only committed 6 turnovers. In their first starts as Hokies, Justin Bibbs and Malik Muller led the team with 15 points each. Muller said he was pretty nervous for his first game.
I was crazy nervous, because especially sitting out the whole year, and then just like so many people coming to the game and just like thinking about we're gonna play good somehow, at least don't play bad and stuff. So every time I thought the game, like my heart started racing. No rush though.
Sophomore point guard Devin Wilson, who totaled 6 assists and 2 steals, said he was impressed with how all the newbies played.
They played great. You could see it in practice that they're going to be ready to play today. And that's something that we were waiting for them to see how they would react to the crowd. And first debut, and I thought they did great.
This was the team's first win under new head coach Buzz Williams. Williams said he was pleased with how the team played, but sees there are still some things Tech can work on.
But collectively, I thought all of those guys did really good things. There are things that we need to work on, but when your first turnover happens at the 32nd minute mark, that is definitely a mature team in a lot of ways. We can't play with Joey and Satch in foul trouble from start to finish. We gave up way too many points on out-of-bounds plays. That needs to improve, but I'm not trying to sound like a coach, but I thought we did a lot of really good things, but I think there are glaring things that we can improve on as well.
The Hokies played on Wednesday against Liberty. Rachel has the highlights.
The Hokies' second game of the season was a little closer than the first. Tech beat Liberty 73-63. The Hokies controlled most of the game, but never could quite pull away from the Flames. With 4 minutes left, Tech only had a 6-point lead, but the Hokies' more experienced players stayed strong to pull out the win. Redshirt junior Joey Van Zegeren led the team with his first career double-double, notching 17 points and 10 rebounds. He said it was due to the offensive turnovers he made this past season.
I think a very big step. We've all been working hard in the gym this whole summer, so I think it's up to us right now. We're all in the best shape that we've been in. It's now a mental game to make sure we have our engines going before the game and that we make sure that we're the tougher team out there on the court.
The team struggled a little at the free throw line, only making 57%. Devin Wilson thinks their percentage will improve as the team matures.
I don't think so. I think second game of the year, kids, we got a lot of freshmen, a lot of young guys. It's going to be those game jitters. Once we get established, I think our free throw percentage will go up, and that's really all you can ask for.
Tech also struggled with turnovers. They committed 19. Head coach Buzz Williams was not too pleased with that stat.
We have a margin that we can have 19 turnovers. I don't know that we can shoot 74% in a half, but I do think that we need to attempt 28, 29 free throws, but we need to make a higher percentage of them. Our offensive efficiency has been through 2 games, and I know those are skewed numbers because there's not enough data, but our offensive efficiency is pretty good. But part of the reason why the numbers skewed is first game we don't turn it over, and tonight we kicked it all over the gym. And so I would say we're probably somewhere in between, just being real. We can't turn the ball over 19 times a game and win, but I think it's being unrealistic to think that we're going to turn the ball over 6 times a game. If you turn the ball over 6 times a game and you shoot over 50% the way we've been doing, you'll have a chance to win.
The team will play again in Castle on Saturday against Appalachian State.
The women's basketball team also opened their season this weekend.
Hey guys, I'm David Jones reporting from Castle Coliseum, where in today's Sunday's matchup, the Virginia Tech women's team was able to take away a win against the University of Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks team 63-41.
The Hokies led the entire game to come away with their first win of the year. Both Taja Campbell and Rachel Camp had double-doubles. Camp, a freshman who had her first start of the season, totaled 17 points and 10 rebounds, while Campbell had 15 points and 10 rebounds. She said the team came out with energy that they lacked in their first game against George Mason.
I think we just came with better energy, and everyone stuck to the game plan a lot longer than we did in the first game. Sometimes it takes us a bit longer to buy into it. In this game, I think from beginning to end, everyone was into it.
Freshman Reagan Marjorie also had an impressive night. She nabbed 9 points and 10 rebounds. Head coach Dennis Wolf says she may be one of Tech's best recruits ever.
I thought when we recruited Edge, and I think that now I think she's the best player we've been able to get. And I found it ridiculous that the ACC all-freshman team picked like 5 or 6 girls in the preseason and she wasn't included. So Reagan Garrity can do a little bit of everything. So it's not just scoring and rebounding. She handles the ball like a guard, and she can guard inside or out. So we're very lucky to have her.
The women's team played again in Castle on Tuesday when they beat Norfolk State, 60-49. Sophomore Vanessa Panusis led the team with 17 points. Camp also added 15, while Marjorie totaled an astounding 17 rebounds. The team will travel to Rhode Island on Sunday to take on Providence.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedside.
The women's soccer team took on Dayton Saturday in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Mary Desmond was at the game.
It's a chilly night here at Thompson Field, where the Virginia Tech women's soccer team is taking on Dayton in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
The Hokies won the game 4-0, placing them in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The first half was very energetic, with 4 goals scored and countless shots on goal. Muriel Tiernan, taking advantage of an empty net, rolled the ball in for the first goal of the game. The second goal, scored by Katie Jensen, was a beautiful assist play between Tiernan and Jensen. A few minutes later, Tiernan added another goal to the board. The fourth and final goal was an assist play by 2 freshmen, Maddie Conyers and Alani Johnson, with Alani taking the goal to the back of the net. The second half had no goals, but showed very impressive defense.
I think one of the points we made at halftime was team defending was important for us, and I think we did a good job. And I use an example. I think Candace gave the ball away in the midfield and made a 15-yard recovery to double down on the front runner and win the ball back. So that kind of team defending was going on all over the field. And I think our back four played very well as well going forward. So
for the next round of the tournament, senior Katie Jensen expects an intense match against Georgetown.
I remember the team effort that we put in, everyone played really, really hard. Our team defense, in particular, the intensity was incredible that game. And I think that we're going to definitely need to have that again if we want to have a good result. And just everyone played really well together, and I think that showed in the result. So, it's definitely not going to be easy because Georgetown's going to come out and they're going to want to play really hard against us. But I think we're also going to come out. We know it's the NCAA, we know it's knockout round, so we want to win this game for sure.
The Hokies travel to University Park on Friday to take on the Bulldogs.
This has been Mary Desmond reporting to you from Thompson Field.
That's all we have for you on this edition of Tech Total Access. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Don't forget to tune in next week for more hard-hitting sports action. And as always, go Hokies!